Judy Rebick now will speak, and she represents the Justice and Democracy at Ryerson University.
Well, actually, just to be clear, that's my job. I'm chair of Social Justice and Democracy. I'm definitely not representing Ryerson University here. I'm speaking for myself and for many other Jewish Canadians who are horrified by what Israel is doing. And so the first thing I want to say is I'm speaking here as a Jew, not something I do very often, but I feel a special responsibility to speak out because there are many, many Jews here in Canada, in the United States, in Europe, and in Israel that are horrified by what is being done in our names. I believe that Israel is inflicting a massacre in the Gaza Strip. And I know what I'm talking about because I visited Gaza in 2002. That was before the wall, before the sanctions. But Gaza was at that time an open-air prison. Palestinians were not allowed in or out of the Gaza Strip at that time. There was a boycott on all exports from Gaza. And so the food that they grew were rotting on the streets because they were growing for export and they were not allowed to grow. So at least till 2002, and for a long time before, the people of Gaza have suffered terrible poverty, unable to leave. Then a complete lockdown on Gaza was inflicted and sanctions so that misery and poverty turned into hunger. And the people of Gaza now are facing, even before the bombing, we're facing a humanitarian crisis. And now we have a situation of massive bombing against, as Rafid said, a defenseless people. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. They have nowhere to go. They have nowhere to hide. They have nowhere to defend themselves. If any other country did this, the international outcry would be massive. And the only reason it's not is because Israel has, one, convinced people that somehow it's justified. How is killing 100 people to one person justified? Under any morality or any law, how is that justified? And secondly, because people are afraid to speak out. If they're Jewish, they're afraid to speak out because they'll be shunned by their community. I grew up as a Jew. I had a bat mitzvah. I was the first girl in my community to have a bat mitzvah. And I learned one thing, was that as a Jew, it's our responsibility to question, to ask questions, not to accept what we're told, and to speak out against injustice. And so here I'm making a call to the Jewish community of Toronto, to all those Jews who don't agree with the official Jewish community, to all those Jews who have questions about what Israel is doing. Whether you support the state of Israel, whether you support the government or not, this action is a massacre and it has to stop. Secondly, I'm speaking out as a university professor. They have bombed the university in Gaza. The university, the one institution that the people of Gaza have protected, that schools people throughout the Gaza Strip. And you know, one thing I learned when I was in Palestine was that the Palestinians and the Jews share a tremendous amount in common, and one of those factors is the value of education. It's outrageous to bomb a university. There's no excuse for it. And university presidents here in Canada who went to Israel on a trip to visit last year should be speaking out against the bombing of the university in Gaza. And thirdly, as a Canadian, I want to make a demand on the government of Stephen Harper that he withdraw all support to Israel until they stop this bombing campaign against the people of the Gaza Strip. And I call on all people of good conscience to come out on Saturday at 2 o'clock and to stand up and stop this massacre from continuing. Thank you.